Alright everyone, it's time to buckle up, because today's video drives into a bittersweet realm. Shows that we adored, but guess what? They're gone. Poof! Vanished off our screens in 2025. Why does this keep happening to the absolute gems? The ones that make us laugh, cry, and binge-watch past bedtime. Don't worry though, this isn't just a eulogy for epic entertainment. Today we're talking about the shock factor, behind-the-scenes tea, and the ripple effect these cancellations leave behind. Are we heartbroken? Absolutely. Will we talk about the juicy reasons why they met their untimely demise? You bet. And hey, maybe, just maybe, we'll uncover a glimmer of hope for what lies ahead. So grab your snacks and settle in. You'll want to stick around for every twist, turn, and jaw drop we've packed into this one. Bones, Fox, a trailblazing forensic drama's journey. Bones, the popular forensic drama on Fox, debuted in 2005 and quickly gained a loyal fan base with its smart mix of science, mystery, and touching stories. Following the smart forensic scientist Dr. Temperance Bones Brennan and the charming FBI special agent Celie Booth, the show used science to solve complicated murder cases, giving fans a mix of exciting mystery and funny moments. Over the course of 12 seasons and 246 episodes, Bones became known for having interesting characters and storylines. Even though it finished officially in 2017, loyal fans who loved how it took the procedural drama genre in new ways kept hearing that it would be back. But by 2025, there were no longer any hopes for a reboot because of creative differences and problems getting the original star's plans to work together. It was also less likely to come back because viewers' tastes were changing and younger investigative shows were becoming more popular. Even so, Bones has a clean reputation because it's still praised for making important additions to the crime-solving field and having a long effect on fans all over the world. Its ending makes it even more rare to have a show that kept people interested for more than 10 years and set a standard for great writing in its field. Dr. Ken, ABC, a comedy that left us too soon. Ken Jeong, who created and starred in the ABC comedy Dr. Ken, made it possible for viewers to feel both funny and real at the same time. When it first started in 2015, the show followed Dr. Ken Park, a smart but socially awkward doctor, as he tried to balance his busy medical job with his strange family life. Using Jeong's real-life experiences as a doctor as inspiration, the show gave the medical sitcom genre a new look by adding realistic family relationships and smart comedy timing. Even though it had a lot of loyal fans and a lot of charm, Dr. Ken had trouble keeping viewers. And during its second season, numbers went down. By 2025, all dreams of a comeback were dashed when ABC announced that the show would not be coming back, citing the network's move toward younger shows and the trouble of getting original group back together. The show, Dr. Ken, may not be on TV anymore, but its memory lives on as one that praised diversity, fun, and the difficulties of modern family life, leaving a lasting mark on its viewers. Rush Hour, CBS, a short-lived action comedy adventure. Rush Hour, based on the popular movie series and shown on CBS, brought its action-packed comedy to TV in 2016. The show followed Detective Carter, an LAPD officer with a lot of street smarts, and Detective Lee, a controlled Hong Kong cop, as they worked together to fight crime and deal with their differences in culture. The show tried to capture the charm of the movies while adding new characters and plots by mixing high-energy action scenes with funny parts. Even though it had a lot of promise, Rush Hour had a hard time finding its feet. It was criticized for not having the same energy and charm as the movie's famous stars. The show's ratings stayed low for the whole first season, so CBS canceled it after only one season. By 2025, there were no longer any dreams for a return. The network had moved on to other projects, and the show hadn't gained a cult following since it was canceled. Even though Rush Hour didn't go as well as the movie, it was still an ambitious attempt to bring a beloved series to TV. It shows how hard it can be to adapt famous movies for television. Two Broke Girls, CBS. A tale of dreams and struggles cut short. The funny and unapologetic series Two Broke Girls, which played on CBS, made its debut in 2011. Its edgy humor and familiar underdog story made viewers laugh and cry. The show followed the lives of Max Black, a street-smart waitress with a sharp sense of humor, and Caroline Channing, a girl who used to be rich but lost it all. They became friends by working together at a Brooklyn diner, which wasn't supposed to happen. Their shared dream of opening a cupcake business was what drove them on a trip that was full of funny mishaps and touching moments. The show had 6 seasons and a loyal fan base thanks to its bold comedy and memorable one-liners. However, it did get some bad reviews, especially for using stereotypes too much. Even though it stopped officially in 2017, rumors of a comeback kept going around thanks to its huge fan base. However, by 2025, CBS had announced that the show would not be coming back, putting an end to any dreams of it coming back. The choice was made because there wasn't enough artistic direction for a reboot that fit with modern tastes, and it was hard to get the original group to work together again. Even though it was canceled, Two Broke Girls is still a cultural icon, loved for its daring comedy and portrayal of two strong women trying to succeed against all odds. Frequency, CW, a sci-fi drama that faded too soon. Frequency, the CW's big sci-fi drama that started in 2016, put a new spin on stories about traveling through time. The show was based on the 2000 movie of the same name. It followed NYPD detective Raimi Sullivan as she learns that she can talk to her dead father, Frank, through an old ham radio. As they work together across time to solve the Nightingale serial killer case, they have to deal with the unexpected results of changing the past. Frequency got good reviews for its interesting idea and emotional depth, but it had a hard time getting a lot of people to watch it. Poor numbers and tough competition from other CW hits like superhero stories caused the show to end after only 1 season of 13 episodes in 2017. By 2025, there were no longer any hopes for a comeback because the network had moved on to newer projects that could make more money. Even though it only ran for a short time, Frequency is a moving example of a show that really connected with a small group of people. It left behind emotional stories and a unique look at family relationships over time. Its cancellation is a warning of how hard it can be for new TV shows to survive in a market that's already very competitive. Reign, CW, a royal saga that met its end. Reign, a gripping historical drama on the CW that started in 2013, brought to life the troubled life of Mary, Queen of Scots, through a mix of romance, mystery, and political drama. The show followed Mary as she dealt with the dangerous politics of Europe, her ties with Francis, who would become King of France, and her final defeat. Reign quickly gained a loyal fan base thanks to its beautiful outfits, powerful stories, and skilled cast led by Adelaide Kane. During its 4 seasons, the show looked at love, betrayal, and power using both real events and artistic license to tell a gripping story. But even though it was a hit at first, Reign's numbers went down in later seasons. Viewers said that rushed plots and the need to be historically accurate were problems. In 2017, the CW officially ended the show, with the 4th season being the last one. By 2025, there were no longer any hopes for a comeback. The network had moved on to younger projects, and the show's historical structure didn't allow for much room for continuation. Reign is no longer on TV, but its impact lives on as a brave and ambitious retelling of a queen's rise and fall that will always be remembered by fans of historical drama. Scream Queens, Fox, a horror comedy icon, bows out. When it first aired on Fox in 2015, Scream Queens, a dark and silly horror comedy, gave TV a new, unapologetic look. The show, which was created by Ryan Murphy, Brad Falchuk, and Ian Brennan, was about a group of sorority sisters at Wallace University who became involved with a murder spree planned by the unknown Red Devil Killer. Scream Queens became a cult favorite because of its unique mix of dark humor and slasher tropes. It had over-the-top comedy, crazy plot twists, and an ensemble cast that included Emma Roberts, Jamie Lee Curtis, and Lea Michele. The show had a lot of loyal fans and good reviews, but it had trouble keeping that same number over its 2 seasons. So Fox officially canceled it in 2017. Over the years, there were whispers of a comeback, but by 2025, it was official that Scream Queens would not be coming back. This was because of artistic differences and the difficulty of bringing back the show's original magic. It was also harder to make the case for continuing because horror comedy shows were changing all the time. Even though Scream Queens isn't on TV anymore, it will always be remembered as a show that broke the rules of its genre and became a cult favorite in the world of horror comedy TV. Sleepy Hollow, Fox. A modern twist on a classic tale ends. The spooky thriller Sleepy Hollow, which debuted on Fox in 2013, took a classic story by Washington Irving and gave it an exciting, up-to-date spin. Ichabod Crane was brought back to life in the 21st century, and the show followed him as he worked with Lieutenant Abby Mills to solve riddles and fight evil forces that were threatening the world. Sleepy Hollow quickly became a fan favorite because it had a lot of interesting magical elements, historical references, and complex character interactions. The first season of the show was a big hit, and critics loved how unique and interesting the stories were. As the series went on, though, numbers dropped, and controversial choices were made by the creators, like letting go of a popular major character. This made fans more and more unhappy. In 2017, after 4 seasons, the show was finally over. Fox moved on to other projects in 2025, putting an end to any dreams of a comeback. It'd be hard to recreate the show's magic and group relationships, so a return is not possible. Even though it wasn't renewed, Sleepy Hollow will always be remembered as a brave and creative show that mixed the supernatural with history. It made a special place in television history and gained a loyal fan base that loves its creepy and exciting vibe. Grimm, NBC. A dark fantasy that lingered in our hearts. When Grimm, an NBC dark fantasy drama, first aired in 2011, it quickly became a fan favorite thanks to its interesting mix of crime, mythology, and magical stories. Nick Burkhart is a Portland murder detective who finds out he's a Grimm, a guardian whose job it is to keep the balance between humans and the Wesen, mythological beings who live among us in secret. The show followed Nick's experiences as he solved crimes, fought dangerous Wesen, and dealt with the duties that came with being a member of his family. The show stood out because of its creative plots, beautiful monster designs, and close friendships between its actors. Even though it had a lot of dedicated fans, Grimm ended in 2017 because of falling numbers in later seasons and NBC's move to try new things with its shows. By 2025, there were no longer any chances of a return or spin-off. The network was focused on new shows, and getting the original group back together proved to be too hard. Still, Grimm is remembered as a groundbreaking show that expertly blended police procedurals with rich legends, giving fans a one-of-a-kind way to escape into a dark and magical world. Its ending marked the end of an age, but loyal fans who love the show's spellbinding stories still feel its effects. Powerless, NBC. A quirky take on superhero chaos. An original NBC comedy set in the world of superheroes, Powerless, premiered in 2017. It gave the genre a new look by focusing on regular people living in a world full of superpowers. Emily Locke, played by Vanessa Hudgens, was the driven and upbeat head of research and development at Wayne Security, a branch of Wayne Enterprises. The show followed her. The show was about making tools to protect regular people from the damage caused by superhero fights. It had smart humor, strange workplace relationships, and a fun take on comic book tropes. Powerless had a creative idea and a skilled group of cast, but it had difficulty finding a steady audience. It had a short run and got mixed reviews from critics. Due to low numbers, the show was canceled after only 1 season, which was sad for fans who liked how silly and fun it was. It was no longer possible for the show to return by 2025, as NBC turned its attention to more popular projects, and the superhero genre continued to change, with darker and more complex stories becoming the norm. The short-lived show Powerless is still known as a unique attempt in its genre, loved by its small group of fans for its silly humor and creative take on life in the world of superheroes. The Good Doctor, ABC, a medical drama's final chapter. The Good Doctor, an innovative medical drama on ABC, debuted in 2017 and quickly became a fan favorite thanks to its touching stories and unique point of view. The show showed how young autistic surgeon with savant syndrome, Dr. Sean Murphy, dealt with the problems of working at San Jose St. Bonaventure Hospital. Sean's, Freddie Highmore's, story of facing personal and professional problems struck a chord with viewers, winning the show praise and a devoted fan group. The show ran for 7 seasons and had themes of acceptance and persistence, as well as complicated medical cases and emotional character arcs. Even though the show had consistently high ratings and was very popular, ABC revealed that it would be ending in early 2024. They gave several reasons for this, including rising production costs, problems renegotiating the contract, and the network's move toward more cost-effective programs. Another factor that went into the choice was how the TV industry is changing because of more competition from streaming services. The show's 7th season was cut short, giving fans a sad but rewarding finish to Sean's story. By 2025, there were no longer any hopes for a return, but The Good Doctor is still praised as a groundbreaking drama that added diversity and emotional depth to the medical genre, leaving a lasting impression on viewers. Blue Bloods, CBS. The End of a Family Legacy. Since its debut in 2010, Blue Bloods, a popular police procedure and family drama on CBS, has been a mainstay of Friday night TV. The series was about the Reagan family, which has a long history in New York City's police force. Tom Selleck played Frank Reagan, the NYPD commissioner, who is the head of the family. With its unique mix of crime-solving and touching family moments, like the famous Sunday dinner scenes, Blue Bloods kept viewers interested for 14 seasons, providing 293 episodes of gripping stories. The show stood out because it was about family values, moral issues, and how hard it is to balance work and home life. Even though the show's been famous for a long time and has good numbers, CBS revealed that it would end in 2024 because it needed to change its television schedule, and the cost of making the show went up. Fans were devastated by the choice, and in December 2024, the Reagan family's emotional trip ended. By 2025, people were looking forward to the new Boston Blue, which promised to carry on the tradition in a different setting. Although Blue Bloods is no longer on TV, its reputation as an emotional and thought-provoking drama is still unmatched, and its loyal fans will always love it. Two Broke Girls, a sitcom's bittersweet goodbye. The 2011 debut of the CBS series Two Broke Girls followed the funny mishaps of Max Black, Kat Dennings, and Caroline Channing, Beth Bears, 2 young women from very different backgrounds who work as waitresses in Brooklyn and want to start a cupcake business. Whitney Cummings and Michael Patrick King made the show, which was known for its sharp humor, strange characters, and direct wit. It looked at friendship, strength, and following your dreams no matter what over the course of 6 seasons. Even though the show had a lot of loyal fans at first, it was criticized for using cliches too much. And as the seasons went on, fewer and fewer people watched them. The show was officially dropped in 2025 because of high production costs, a change in CBS's broadcast strategy towards extended stories, and a big drop in numbers of viewers. Fans are sad that Max and Caroline's story is over, but Two Broke Girls is still remembered as a memorable episode of sitcom history, loved for its unique charm and comedic flair. NCIS Hawaii, CBS. A sunlit chapter comes to a close. NCIS Hawaii, a lively spin-off of the famous NCIS series, debuted on CBS in 2021, giving the popular police drama a new look. The show was set in the beautiful Hawaiian Islands and followed Vanessa Lachey's character, Special Agent Jane Tennant, as she led the Pearl Harbor field office with strength and style. Tennant's character was the first female lead in the NCIS world. She struggled with tough cases while also being a single mother. People were fascinated by the show's mix of dangerous adventures, interesting cultures, and stunning surroundings. Even though it got off to a great start and had a lot of loyal fans, NCIS Hawaii had trouble keeping its pace. In 2024, CBS revealed that the show would not return after 3 seasons. They gave several reasons for this, including rising production costs, the difficulty of shooting on location, and the network's choice to add new shows to its schedule. Fans will always remember the show's unique charm and groundbreaking portrayal, even though its last episode aired in May 2024. By 2025, there were no longer any hopes for a return, but NCIS Hawaii is still a beloved part of the NCIS series, praised for its gripping stories and ability to push the limits of the procedural drama genre. Superman and Lois, CW. A heroic journey comes to an end. The popular superhero show, Superman and Lois, which debuted on the CW in 2021, gave the famous Man of Steel a new, more realistic look. Following Clark Kent, played by Tyler Hoechlin, and Lois Lane, Ellen Tulloch, the show showed how hard it is to raise their teenage kids in Smallville while facing huge threats to humanity. The show quickly became a favorite in the superhero genre thanks to its captivating stories, deep emotional connections, and stunning visuals. It also got praise for its focus on family relationships and stories that are driven by characters. Even though it had a lot of loyal fans and high numbers, Superman and Lois was officially ended in 2024 after 4 seasons. Warner Brothers' choice was affected by the studio's plan to bring all of its DC characters together under one umbrella concept led by James Gunn's future Superman Legacy movie. The company chose not to make any other Superman shows, leading to the show's end. Even though fans were upset, the show's final season was cut short to wrap up its stories and say goodbye to the characters that fans loved. By 2025, there were no longer any hopes for a return, but Superman and Lois is still praised for its touching look into the superhero mythos and for leaving a lasting impression on fans who loved how it mixed action, drama, and family-centered stories. Brea, NBC. A prehistoric adventure ends. Brea, an ambitious sci-fi drama on NBC, launched in 2021 and quickly wowed viewers with its unique idea. At the show's start, a huge pit opened up in Los Angeles and drew people, cars, and buildings into a strange ancient world. The surviving, led by people like Eve Harris and Gavin Harris, had to find their way through this dangerous old land. The survival drama, family drama, and time travel plot turns in Brea gave the genre a new look. Even though it had a lot of loyal fans at first, the show had problems in later seasons, like falling numbers and high production costs. The third and final season, which ran in early 2024, only had 6 episodes because of strikes in the business and other problems with making the show. At the end of the day, NBC chose to stop the show because of these problems, and the networks moved toward cheaper shows. Brea ended with a sad ending that wrapped up the main plots, but fans were left wanting more of the show's exciting spirit. By 2025, there were no longer any hopes for a return, but the show is still remembered as a memorable part of NBC's sci-fi lineup, praised for being creative and taking risks to bring an ancient world to life. American-born Chinese, Disney+, a cultural gem that shined briefly. American-born Chinese, based on the popular comic book by Jean Luen Yang, aired on Disney Plus in May 2023. Its unique mix of action, humor, and cultural stories captivated viewers. The show is about Jin Wang, a normal kid who's trying to figure out his Chinese-American identity in high school. He gets caught up in a fight between mythical Chinese gods. With an all-star cast that included Michelle Yeoh and Ke-Huy Quan, the show was praised by critics for how it represented different cultures, kept viewers interested, and looked stunning. Even though the show got good reviews and had a lot of loyal fans, Disney Plus stated in early 2024 that it would be ending after only 1 season. The choice was made because the show had few viewers and had a hard time breaking into the crowded streaming market controlled by bigger brands. A second season was also impossible because the cast contracts had expired and the costs of making the shows were too high. By 2025, there were no longer any dreams of a comeback. However, the show is still praised for its groundbreaking portrayal of women and its honest study of identity and myths. Even though American-born Chinese only ran for a short time, it greatly affected viewers and helped tell more diverse stories. It'll be remembered as a brave and ambitious project that tried to bring a new point of view to the screen. Our Flag Means Death, Max. A pirate comedy sails into the sunset. Our Flag Means Death, Max's quirky and emotional pirate comedy, debuted in 2022 and quickly gained a loyal fan base thanks to its unique mix of humor, romance, and epic adventure. Based on the true story of Stede Bonnet, the gentleman pirate, the show followed his rise from wealthy farmer to unlikely pirate leader and his changing relationship with Blackbeard. The show, which was created by David Jenkins and starred Rhys Darby, Taika Waititi, and a great group of actors, stood out for telling stories that were accessible to everyone, especially LGBTQ+ people. Max stated in early 2024 that Our Flag Means Death would not return after 2 seasons, even though the show had received high praise from critics and a devoted fan base. The choice was made because of limited funds and a lack of watchers, which made it hard to justify keeping the show going. Fans raised money to try to save the show, but efforts to find a new home failed. The second season ended with a satisfying but sad ending that allowed the fans to say goodbye to their favorite characters. By 2025, there were no longer any hopes for a return, but Our Flag Means Death is still praised as a brave and original show that brought fun, heart, and diversity to the high seas, leaving a lasting mark on the world of television. Schmigadoon, Apple TV+, a musical journey cut short. Schmigadoon, an original and fun musical comedy on Apple TV+, debuted in 2021 and quickly won over viewers with its unique idea and touching stories. In the show, Cecily Strong and Keegan-Michael Key played a couple stuck in a magical town where everything goes like a great musical. Each season paid tribute to a different era of musical theater. The first season was about the golden age of the 1940s and 50s, and the second was about the grittier shows of the 60s and 70s. The show, which Cinco Paul and Ken Dorio created, was praised for its original songs, smart humor, and great cast, which included Broadway legends and Hollywood stars. Even though it had great reviews and a lot of loyal fans, Apple TV Plus stated that Schmigadoon would not be returning after 2 seasons in early 2024. The choice was made because the show only had a small group of fans and was having a hard time keeping watchers in a competitive streaming market. A third season with 25 new songs was written, but it was never released because the platform had to cut costs and change its goals. By 2025, there were no longer any dreams of a return, but the show is still praised as a love letter to musical theater, leaving behind a legacy of creativity and joy that speaks to its loyal fans to this day. Pretty Little Liars, Max, a modern mystery, ends. Pretty Little Liars Original Sin, the Max reboot of the famous teen mystery show, came out in 2022 and gave fans a look back at a darker and scarier version of the brand. The show took place in the small town of Millwood and followed a new group of kids who were being harmed by a mystery person named A. This person told them lies about their parents' past that made them feel bad. The show got praise for taking a risk and paying tribute to the popular Freeform show. It had a new cast, including Bailey Madison and Chandler Kinney, and told the story more modernly than the original. When the second season, Summer School, came out in 2024, it continued the group's fight against their mysterious tormentor. Max canceled Pretty Little Liars in late 2024, even though it had a lot of loyal fans and good reviews. They said this because the number of watchers was decreasing and the platform shifted its focus to bigger brand projects. Even though the series finished with unanswered riddles, it was a bold take on a well-known classic that'll be remembered for a long time. Hopes for a continuation had faded by 2025, but Pretty Little Liars Original Sin is still praised for its unique style and ability to capture the attention of a new generation of fans while staying true to the original series. The Umbrella Academy, a super-powered farewell. Based on Gerard Way's comic book series, Netflix's The Umbrella Academy wowed viewers with its strange, chaotic family of super-powered brothers. The show showed how the Hargreaves brothers, who were adopted by a strange millionaire, dealt with time travel, end-of-the-world threats, and their complicated relationships. When it first aired in 2019, the show had 4 seasons of drama, comedy, and touching scenes. The 6th episode of the final season, which came out in August 2024, wrapped up the story in a pleasing way. Steve Blackman, who created the show, always saw it as having a 4-season arc that would keep the story tight and powerful. However, outside events like the COVID-19 pandemic and industry strikes pushed back the seasons for a long time, which played a role in the decision to end the show. The makers of the show thought it was time to end on their own terms, even though fans and cast members wanted to see more stories. Even though it was canceled, The Umbrella Academy is still a popular Netflix show known for its unique characters, creative writing, and emotional depth. The Good Fight – A legal drama's final bow. As a bold and thought-provoking court drama, Paramount Plus's The Good Fight, a spin-off of the popular The Good Wife, found its place in the market. When it first started in 2017, the show followed Diane Lockhart, Christine Baranski, as she restarted her career at a law company where most lawyers were African-American. She did this after losing all her savings in a Ponzi scam. The show handled everything from fake news to systemic racism with clever writing and a bold look at current political and social problems. It did this while winning praise from critics and a loyal fan base. During its 6 seasons, The Good Fight broke new ground by mixing court fights with strange elements that showed how chaotic the world is. The story ended properly with the final season, which aired in 2024. It dealt with themes of social unrest and personal healing. Robert and Michelle King, who created the show, chose to end it because they didn't want to get tired of making it and wanted to end the story on a high note. Fans were sad when the show ended, but it will always be remembered as a risky and creative drama that changed the genre. If you've watched the video till here, that means you've enjoyed the video. Subscribe. Don't forget to turn on the notifications bell icon